freezing here.
Welcome to the Film Threat Podcast. I'm Chris Gore, and it is freezing here. It is really... I mean, Anthony, you ran to make this podcast.
Yeah, I ran.
So I'm Chris Gore, Anthony Ray Bench.
How's it going, everybody?
And we have special guests here, our Sundance crew. Woo! Yeah, we have
Go Team Film Threat.
Theo Shear's here. Say hello
Yeah,
to the Film
inaugural podcast. It's Theo Shear in the house from
Welcome to the
Oakland.
format.
Yeah, shout out to Film Threat. Really dope, everybody. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Thank you for being here.
And Matthew Pasantino, you are also here. I'm slurring your name.
I'm physically here.
He is physically here, but also
I think that goes for all of us, really.
I love movies, but my brain and eyes are melted.
My ass is just fucking sore. Those seats suck.
First of all, I thought I was the only one.
No.
I'm sore in the morning.
Yeah.
And I don't mean from anything interesting. I mean, I'm sore from watching movies. Theo, you've had the same experience.
My legs actually hurt. I don't know why, but it's like I've walked 100 miles. I don't know what's going on.
On average, I've walked about like 5 miles every day since I've been here.
That's good. You're getting your steps in.
Mm-hmm.
I like to get my steps in.
Yeah, my 10,000 steps.
Yeah. Okay, so we have all seen a lot of movies. This is I want to hear what everyone has to say about the films that they have seen. Theo's now new on the show. We're surviving this thing, but I have to say, I was at a party late last night, and it was the coldest I think I have ever felt in my life. First of all, it said it was like 1 degree or 8 degrees, and a friend of mine's phone died.
Yeah, that
the phone
happens.
had plenty of, but it just because the phone was so cold, the phone just turned off.
Yeah, it was funny when I got out of the theater. People were huddled around those heaters with their phones, like holding it up, like towards the heater, trying to revive their phones from the dead.
But
Yeah,
those
totally a
are
thing.
problematic, those heater things, when you're standing under them and you don't have hair. So it's like my head's on fire.
But the good thing is we have.
I wouldn't know, sir. I have plenty of hair.
But the good thing is we have these Film Threat hats, which are so
Someone
warm.
complimented my hat today.
They did?
Yeah. He was like, "What is Film Threat sucks?" I'm like, "The site I write for." Well, why does it suck? I'm like,
I hate answering that question.
I think the editor just kind of leaned into being told it sucks.
We're self-deprecating. Get over
Next
it.
year,
Fuck.
you know what we'll do? We'll get Entertainment Weekly sucks. We'll get.
I like that idea, yeah,
you should get
yeah.
all the different competitive,
IndieWire.
IndieWire sucks. We'll just do it with all of them, and then we'll just get hats made. It'll be, or maybe I'll just wear one of those onesies that NASCAR guys wear.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the
onesie.
The fucking overalls. That's what I thought you were talking about.
I have 2 pairs of coveralls. I used to use them when I worked on cars and motorcycles, and you put it over your clothes so your clothes don't get covered in grease and shit.
Yeah.
You're supposed to cover them with your sponsors, but I think it'd be pretty funny if we got all these competitors and actually just put sucks after their respective logos. Anyways, it has been so last night was the coldest I've ever actually felt in my life. Where a friend of mine's pulling away in the car. I'm like, can you just drive us to the car? Because we are dying. So that was very helpful. But a lot has happened since the last time we were all together and recorded. We are in the Film Threat condo, how do you describe the smell of this place now? What do you think?
It's hard to identify, but some kind of unknown chemical has been in here, and I'm kind of concerned.
I don't notice the smell, so I'm afraid that the smell is me.
It was
It's
before.
definitely not you.
Okay.
It was before you arrived.
All right.
But it smells it doesn't smell like anything clean. You said
No.
it smelled like chemicals. Wait, what is your theory on this?
I'm bad at smells.
You're bad at smells.
I'm bad at
Who
smells.
who says they're bad at smells?
I'm bad at smells.
Yeah. Okay. But there's definitely where we've reached the sort of slog of we have been here a while. Tensions are high. Cell service is shitty.
Oh my god, yeah.
It is. Oh no, it's terrible.
Yeah.
AT&T. First of all, fuck AT&T. AT&T is
AT&T sucks.
AT&T, a sponsor of the fucking Sundance Film Festival. I am I am going to be a T-Mobile guy because they're running a promotion. You get
T-Mobile sucks too.
It does too? Damn it!
Verizon's decent.
They're all... But Verizon's too expensive. Anyways, I am switching after this because I'm so upset that it affected things. You know, like our social media feed was not as active.
Our meetup plans.
Got derailed. Even simple things like communicating between each other about you're going to this, you're doing this. Like, it really was fucked up from the cell service.
Yeah.
So, fortunately, we have Wi-Fi in the condo. But
even that was fucking up, too. Like, we had a hell of a time with this condo.
Yes.
Like, we got locked out of it. We weren't sure which condo we were actually in. We couldn't find where we were supposed to take out the garbage.
The minor things. You know what? This is people going, wow, you got to go to Sundance.
Yeah.
Fuck off with your complaining. So let's get into it and talk about movies. I really want to go around to all of you and talk about the best thing you've seen over the last couple days. We know the movies that we've already covered on the podcast. So let's talk about the new ones that we have seen since the last time we recorded. And Anthony, we'll start with you. We'll go around the horn.
Okay. So today I saw the Joan Jett documentary, Bad Reputation. And Joan Jett was fucking there.
Cool.
That was awesome. Yeah, she was in the audience. Like, there was like a kind of a ruckus like in front of me. And I was like, I saw the jet black hair, pun intended. And I was like, oh shit, there's Joan Jett. And of course, like, people had to like walk up and like, don't fucking pester her. Like, this is a movie festival. Like, sit down in your seats and watch the movie. The movie basically told the story about, you know, how she got a guitar for Christmas one year and just wanted to play music. She wanted to form the first rock and roll all-female band, which was the Runaways. And it didn't really touch on the Runaways all that much. It really kind of jumped right into Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. A big problem I had with it was Joan Jett is very much alive and very much articulate, but a majority of that documentary was everybody and their mother talking about Joan Jett and Joan Jett like saying like 2 or 3 things and then them cutting to somebody else.
Well, wait, let me say for a second. I listened to a lot of interviews with people and podcasts, and the to me, unfortunately, I feel that the least articulate and or interesting I have heard in interviews, mostly listening to like Howard Stern or other shows, are musicians. And I don't mean that they're not smart or articulate.
Yeah.
I mean that they are so focused on music that being able to express that in words is actually something that they may not be capable of. So having others speak for her is maybe not a bad idea, but like having heard so many musician interviews, it's kind of the least interesting interview to me because the idea of creating music is so fucking magical and spiritual. To try to explain that is to destroy it. Like you can't just explaining music like that and like how that comes, like how do you get inspired? Where do you get ideas for a song? Like who comes up with that? Like
but that's not what the movie was about. The movie was about her career. Yeah. I get what you're saying. I absolutely do. But to kind of counter that, they were interviewing other musicians.
Right. So how were they?
Yeah. They were exactly what you said. They were just talking about the music, the man who showed the music.
Yeah, the most disappointing interviews I've ever heard have been with musicians.
You know, I have never watched a music documentary where I fell in the middle. I either loved it or hated it. And this one, I liked it. I really did. I think the subject is fascinating. Joan Jett is a pioneer. She's a feminist. She's, you know, an activist. She's a punk rock goddess. I just wish that we heard it from her mouth a little bit more and less from people that didn't actually live it. But it was really cool to see her do the Q&A. She seems just like an awesome, amazing, genuine person. And yeah, I mean, that's one of the things I saw today.
Awesome. Let's go to Theo. You're new on the show.
Hey, all right.
Yeah. So what have you seen? You've seen a lot of things that we have not.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
what would you say, like, as a highlight, one of the things, and we'll continue to talk about more films, but what is something that stands out to you?
All right.
Something really special.
Yeah, I gotta start out with Sorry to Bother You, Oakland movie, Boots Riley. Got a lot of hype here, I think. and it's a really fun movie, but it hits on these big topics that are, really substantial things that are hard to talk about in a way that's
Well, we want to hear it. I think, Matt, you saw that movie also.
Yeah.
I feel like the two of you should discuss this film because Anthony and I have not seen it. What did you guys think? You're saying it's difficult to talk about. It was shot in Oakland. Oakland reminds me of Detroit, actually.
Oakland scares the shit out of me.
No, I like Oakland. I like it.
I do too, but it scares the shit out of me.
But I've been there, and it reminds me of Detroit. It's very like...
Yeah, it's very, they're kind of sister cities. Oakland's got such a big cultural heritage, and of course it's got violence problems and crime problems, but... it carries a lot of weight and a lot of racial tension, a lot of big issues that are epitomized in Oakland. And this movie deals with all of those issues and at the same time is such a fun movie. I mean, they're talking about horse dicks, Armie Hammer's great, Lakeith, what's his name? Lakeith Stanfield. So good. For me, it was fun because it was shot in a lot of familiar places.
Well, that's got to be cool because you live in the Bay Area.
Yeah, I'm from Oakland.
I went to school in Hayward for a bit.
Yeah. And then it's funny, there's also another huge movie, Blind Spotting, based in Oakland, dealing with the same issues. I'm not sure how this happened. Oakland's kind of taken over Sundance this year, but definitely highly recommend that. It's got an amazing score by the Tune Yards, who are also from Oakland. Some music from Boots Riley's The Coup. I just got to talk to his music producer. He said the Coup's soundtrack for that is going to be Boots Riley's next album. And then, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, Matt, I want to, what is the story, though? I want to know the story. I know Armie Hammer's in it, but what is the story, the basic story, without giving anything away? What's it about?
Lakeith Stanfield's character, he gets a job at this telemarketing place, and I don't even know how to describe where it goes from there. Like, he gets promoted and shit gets weird.
Okay, so you also are kind of actually ambivalent about the plot because Theo, you had a problem kind of describing it, but is it about a tone also? Because tell me what Eraserhead is about. No, I mean it's there's a lot of movies you could say that really defy describing a story, a traditional story. So this is one of those, as I'm going to guess.
Basically, the Lakeith has to deal with either becoming super successful himself or being part of the fight. And so he is then put up against this decision of whether he wants to be, hyper successful himself or be part of the fight with the people. And it's a hard one. I don't know what I would do. I don't know what anyone else would do, but it hits on gentrification. It hits on unionizing. It's all about race. And
yeah, it's a crazy movie with big ideas, and it makes pretty good on it. I think I liked it a few shades less than you did, just because I think it totally runs out of steam. And last half hour, I was like, okay, wrap it up.
Well, I think that's
what I always say. So
I think the best thing is when you're talking about a film that deals with issues involving race. The best thing is to have four white guys talk about it. Don't you think? Isn't that the best idea in the world? No, you have to call out that shit because I feel like race is also a discussion that I kind of feel like as a kid I didn't think I'd be having now at my fucking old age at this stage. I grew up watching Star Trek, which was this multicultural show as a little kid, and I'm like, why are we still talking about this stupid shit? Wasn't there that one episode of Star Trek with Frank Gorshin where he's black on one side and white on the other, but the other guy is white on one side and black on the other? Ugh. It's so fucked up our country that I'm angry we're still talking about it, but also we're not the guys to even discuss this.
Yeah.
So that's something that we have to work on at Film Thread, is to find a more diverse group of people to discuss these movies. But I really just have to just compliment Sundance's commitment to really bringing in diverse groups of filmmakers, like diverse voices, especially because we were talking before we started recording this podcast about like Sundance maybe 10, 15 years ago was all like rich white people's problems, right? A lot of those like that I could not relate to. I felt weird, like it's like these people with like their country home. If you here's my thing. If you use summer as a verb, I probably can't relate to you. So, and that was a lot of the movies at Sundance years ago, right? Like but now I'm glad that these voices are now being represented, but both of you are having difficulty discussing it. And I want to get to the root of that.
I don't know anything about this movie.
Fucking push you guys.
It's something you got to experience, I think. I think you can't just be told about this movie. You have to experience it because it is a good movie.
And it's also a good point. Like, I feel like we're not the ones that are supposed to talk about this movie.
You know, I could sit here and be like, the performances
we have
good,
all the privileges and all the...
I mean, at the same time, the least we can do is put on movies that are doing, making good points and, being active in the discussion. So,
well, sorry to bother you.
Yeah.
Armie Hammer is amazing in this. He's not in a lot of it, but he's so insane and does like a 5-minute line of coke and is just... he's insane.
Terry Crews plays an amazing uncle.
Yep.
Oh, I love... That's why Terry Crews was in... I saw Terry Crews right outside the Egyptian. He was just walking around.
Yep.
And I screamed at him, President Camacho! Oh, my God, I love that guy.
Did he look?
He did look.
Nice.
But I don't know. That guy is... He's a fucking badass.
I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He's so good on it.
Yeah, he's great. But Armie Hammer, I mean, I really feel like that guy deserves some acknowledgement from the standpoint if you saw Call Me by Your Name.
So good.
So good in that. I mean,
and you know, he sorry to interrupt, but he
no, please.
You know, he was so good and broke big with The Social Network. Trying to make myself,
as twins.
Trying to make myself not go on a tangent. Oh, that's the greatest movie ever.
The Winklevoss twins, and then I saw him in The Lone Ranger, which was terrible.
Terrible.
But to go from that playing a superhero effectively in a brand that no one cares about, The Lone Ranger.
Right.
No one cares today about that. That's a dead franchise. But to look at like what he did like in Call Me by Your Name, and I don't know what his personal life is like, and I don't but he really convincingly pulled that off.
And you know,
right?
to me, that was like an old-fashioned movie star performance, and that's why that's what really impressed me about him in that movie. So I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, no, it was just so well done and felt so like so human. Like when you are at that age where you're, exploring sexuality and kind of figuring out, like, I don't know, like this is weird, and there's things that you think about where you're filled with shame, and then maybe you're having sex with what was the fruit they had sex with?
Peach.
A peach. Maybe you're fucking a peach. I don't know. Like,
who hasn't? I mean,
yeah,
come
exactly.
on.
Yes. Well, I'm sure we all have our stories. We all have our stories.
Dude, you're missing out. No, I'm just kidding. That was weird.
But that movie is so. It's so. I feel like it just the way that it's yes, it's coming of age. They're talking about doing like 2 sequels to it.
He wants to do something like before trilogy. That movie ends so perfectly. You cannot touch it.
There can't be a trilogy to that. This isn't like 50 Shades. It's not some brand.
I'd watch it.
Yeah. But the chemistry between those two. I mean, that actor. God, I forget the kid's name.
Timothy Chalamet, who should be winning the Oscar, not Gary Oldman. What?
He's amazing, and he was also in Lady Bird.
Yeah, he's a prodigy.
Very similar, like. To be that young and to go those places is just really
it was amazing,
admirable, so incredible. So
we're reviewing a movie from Sundance last year now.
right, exactly. Well, I mean, but also it's sort of in the public consciousness now,
yeah.
Right? Like, okay, it's Oscar, because this is what happens is these movies come out now at Sundance, and then like a year later they're now for award consideration. So really, there's the life of these films it's long. So yeah. So let's get into another film, and we'll sort of go around. But like Matthew, what did you see that you'd like to tell us about?
Since I guess I've said a couple times now, the one I really like I can't talk about yet. But I did see one that I really liked called Wildlife. And it's Paul Dano's directorial debut, and it's Carey Mulligan in the best thing she's done. And she's married to Jake Gyllenhaal. He loses. She doesn't. She's a stay-at-home mom. They have a 14-year-old son. He loses his job. He decides to go. So Jake Gyllenhaal's not in this movie. He kind of bookends the movie. He's not in the middle portion of it. It's really Carey Mulligan and the son. And it's just this really like gentle examination of like a changing family dynamic. And this is like the kind of movies I like depressing white people movies. But
is that a genre? Like on Netflix, depressing white people movies?
Yeah, I mean that's like, some might feel like Manchester by the Sea. Like these are the movies I kind of gravitate towards. But it's so Paul Dano wrote it with his girlfriend Zoe Kazan, and it's just really well done. It's beautifully shot. But there's not like plate smashing, and there's some yelling, but it's not like over the top or anything. It's just really naturalistic, and I really do. I think it's going to be, out of what I've seen, I think it's one we'll be talking about at this time next year for awards and stuff. I really liked it. I was impressed by that one.
And the one thing, Matthew, you're in the condo here. This is your first time it's the first time we've actually met and hung out. And one thing I learned about you is you really love awards.
I do.
You really love awards, and
it's killing me that I'm going to be boarding a plane when the Oscar nominations are coming out.
Oh wow! Did you see the piece that was on Film Thread about like we have like these statistics of that was a really interesting really interesting statistics about what the odds are of who will be nominated. Really, because wait a sec, is it like what time in the morning? Because I went to that once. I have gone to the Motion Picture Academy.
Wow,
and I've gone to that like where they announce it and they make it a big deal, but it's like so early in the morning. You get there at like 4 a.m.
It's like 5. I think the time is 5:22.
Right. Okay.
And so it'll be, where we are 6:22.
So what time do we turn on DirecTV?
Now, because it takes a while to get into work.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god. Oh, let's not get into that.
So
yeah. But those announcements. It's I don't know. I love it. We were talking about how like the Oscars, like I think one of the fun part about the Oscars is complaining about the Oscars.
Yeah,
that's like the most fun about it.
I'm still complaining about the King's Speech winning Best Picture. It's like
the King's Speech.
It's been like 8 years.
This bothers you? This is a scar.
Bothers me because The Social Network lost.
Right, but also, I think the Academy is a barometer for movies that feel important. But the movies that survive the test of time, that is actually the thing that actually really matters, is those movies that actually endure and people are still interested in decades after they've...
Star Wars is the perfect example of that.
Yeah, and there's a lot of other great examples of movies that have survived past, like whether they won awards or not doesn't matter. Like,
no, I know, and I get way too involved in it. And
like King's Speech, like no one. You'd have to remind someone.
Oh, it haunts me every day.
Okay, do this test to anyone you know who's into awards. A lot of people would say, like, what won the Best Picture? Actually, you're a bad person to ask, but what won?
I won't know this one. Watch.
What won Best Picture last year?
2000 Moonlight.
Yeah. What won Best Picture 2 years ago? Anthony.
I don't know, man.
Exactly. Spotlight. No one knows. Spotlight. If you ask people what won 2 years ago, no one friggin' knows.
Spotlight.
Well, yes. Well, you know that.
Man, this guy knows.
But the thing is this, if you do that, it throws them off because they're like, and those movies, for years, I have called like the Oscars the white people drama movie awards. So not only do I have and I feel like they've done a lot towards having diversity in the awards. That's good, but it only rewards a type of film, not comedies, not action films, not science fiction. It really is dramas only. So I don't know. That's my rant. I don't like...
As much as I love the Oscars, they definitely award the okayest movie of the year.
Wait, it's like the okayest?
The okayest movie of the year.
Hashtag the okayest movie of the year.
Love it.
We're on Oscar night, we're going to live tweet, right?
Perfect.
We're going to do a Film Threat live tweet. You'll take over the Film Threat Twitter feed, and you'll tweet from it. And that'll be
Yes,
that.
I'm on it.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
We'll do it. Maybe I'll throw in a tweet here and there. But that's what we'll do, right? Okay,
Cool.
good. That's happening. Oscar night.
Because I get really snarky.
Oscar night. Matthew Pasatino is taking over Film Threat's Twitter feed and tweeting about the Oscars.
Hashtag Oscars so okay.
Yeah, exactly.
The year of Spotlight, when The Revenant almost won, I was just like nervous to because I hate that movie. And
You hate The Revenant?
I hate The
Wow.
Revenant. Oh,
You should do the Oscar preview piece on Film Threat.
Okay.
Or any commentary. Look, anything you guys want to do on the website is whatever you gravitate towards. Let's do that thing.
cool.
But yeah, I love that idea. So okay, what else did you guys see? There's a lot. Theo, I can see you're grinning ear to ear. Like, what have you seen that you want to
Sure,
tell us
sure.
about? Because we've had discussions because we started to talk about the Film Threat. We had like this Film Threat gathering. We did that podcast, right? And then we had the gathering after, which was super fun.
Yeah.
Because it was free drinks.
They made drinks in our honor.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I
Yeah,
gotta
the Film
post-
Threat Teeny, and I can't remember it
There
was like the
another
Apris film
Threat
shot or
related
something.
Drink. Yeah, it was
Area
for-
film shots.
Yeah.
So there were Film Threat drinks at that part. So that was fun. But
Dude,
it's-
those Film Threat Teenies were awesome. They were
were.
there's
delicious.
a lot of alcohol in them.
Yeah.
But like we sort of like, here's the weird thing is like, here's a party for us. And like, where are we? We're in the corner talking about movies.
With our backs to everybody
We're
else.
basically doing what we're doing here now, but with no microphones. But what else can you tell us about, Theo?
Well, I also really loved Generation Wealth, Lauren Greenfield documentary, career-spanning film that she did. Also brought her personal life into it. Highly recommend. But the two things that I was most excited about from this entire festival happened to be two things that I screened before the festival, and happened to be the two things that are episodic that I watched. And I don't watch any episodic stuff ever. It's not my thing, except for Nathan For You. Shout out to Nathan For You. But so the first one is the super deluxe pilot called The Passage, executive produced by the Eric Andre executive producer. And it is incredible. It looks like a Carlos Regatas film, but it is insanely dumb clown humor, and it works. It's this guy, Phil Burgers, who does this character, Dr. Brown. It's really funny. And it's just like something you've never seen. You've never seen anything like it, and it's hilarious. The other thing is this show called The Show About the Show. Kaveh Zahedi, one of my heroes. And it's just like fucks itself harder and harder every episode. I mean, you gotta like that kind of shit. You gotta be into films about films. But if you're into that, it's heaven. So you gotta check those out. It's on YouTube. So
Yeah, I watched the first season of the Kaveh Zahedi. Is it Zahedi or Zahedi?
I think it's Zahedi.
Oh, damn it.
I don't know though.
And for years I've been saying Zahedi. I've said it on television. I'm so angry with myself now.
And for years, he probably thought you were a dick.
I might be
Well,
wrong.
I think we all
Right.
know I'm a dick. I think can we all agree on that? But Kaveh, and I've talked about him several times on the show. I Am a Sex Addict is one of the most brilliant films ever made.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, without question. It's not a documentary, but it kind of is. It's kind of autobiographical. It's a narrative movie. It's a movie that breaks the fourth wall. It is. It's also kind of experimental. I cry at the end every time I see that film because when you realize what's actually happening at the very, very end of the movie. It's a brilliant movie. And I Am a Sex Addict. It used to be on Netflix. I'm not sure if it's still on there. But I have bought that movie several times on standard def DVD. And boy, if Kaveh has not put that out, if he wants to put out a Blu-ray, I will put the Blu-ray out. I'm making an announcement right now. Reminder to add some timpani or music, some momentous music. Wait. I have some momentous
You have
music.
some.
I have some. Wait a sec. I'm going to find it. Cut all this out.
And you know what's crazy is this guy can't even
I'm
get
leaving
funding.
it in.
Leave it in.
I'm leaving it in.
Leave it in.
He can't get
Awkward
funding to do his show.
silence.
Like
What's that? You
he's
can't-
looking for money to continue the show, and it's
How
incredible.
is one of the most brilliant minds in independent film
It's horrible.
looking for money it's disheartening to me.
It is.
Yeah, but I mean,
Holy
at least
shit,
I'm
the
glad
reviews
that
of that are low.
that Sundance saw fit to
Yeah.
to include him. But
Yeah.
here, this is like, okay, making an announcement. This is, I don't know if this is going to work. I have no idea.
Yes, it will.
Well, do you think it will?
Oh, yeah.
All right, yeah. Don't cut any of this out.
I'm not.
This is all happening. This is all about. But Kaveh also did a movie called In the Bathtub of the World, where every day for a year he records himself to camera for about a minute.
Yeah.
About a minute. But it happens the year that 9/11 happens, and he edits this down to about a 90-minute film, and it's sort of the highlights of his year of talking to camera. This is like before FaceTime or any of that stuff, and it is absolutely incredible. So he's just very honest. I can't get this. I can't forget it. So we're gonna start putting out movies on DVD, and Film Thread is gonna start putting out movies at some point before the end of this year. I can't announce exactly when. We're going to start putting out films, but because that movie is not currently on standard def DVD, I would help Kaveh put that movie out on Blu-ray if he wants to do that. So,
Well, let's make that happen.
Let's
and
make that
also,
happen.
all the investors listening, if you want to contribute to the history of cinema, give him some money. Like,
yes, give Kaveh some money
He doesn't even need that much.
to do the stuff that. Yeah, I mean, it's like, but his stuff is so endearing because of the way that it's just so low tech DIY.
He's got a
like-
couple kids here doing it for free. He's filming
Yeah.
his show here. Like, it's always happening. And he's got some kids here just doing it free. He doesn't need that much. Just, like, give him a little bit.
Yeah.
He'll make something magic.
All right, well, if he wants to put out I Am a Sex Addict on Blu-ray, we'll put it out through Film Threat Video.
I'm going to text him right now.
Text him, say if he wants to do it. Like we'll work it out. And look, all I care about is that it actually comes out, only because selfishly I just want to buy it. So I'm going to buy a movie that I'm going to put out. But I think it's important because there's so many films that, you know, when you look at like the movies that come out at Sundance, not everything gets distributed.
Yeah.
So there are how many movies playing in Park City? 400? So about 20 to 30% of those get distribution, and the rest get nothing. This is why we're here, is to see these films that may or may not ever be seen in another format. Well, they're gonna get seen. They're gonna get seen at other film festivals, but they may not come out commercially in a way that they're easily able to be seen. So
Yeah.
okay, final thoughts on our Sundance experience so far. Exactly. That's what it's very busy here. It's very busy is all I have to say.
It's been awesome. I mean, I saw 17 movies and
Wow.
So far.
and-
Still a lot to go.
And yeah, it's been awesome.
All right. Well,
Film Threat sucks, dude. Fuck this shit.
and also on that
Film
note,
Threat's so white, dude.
exactly. We should just do our own campaign. Film Threat's so white.
Seriously.
Well, you have no idea how much I try to recruit and get people to write that are not white guys like that are sitting at this table recording this podcast. You would not. I mean, it's much more difficult than one would think, and it's something that like I have since the beginning of Film Threat tried to do, because I just think it's boring to have a certain kind of person all be one thing. Like that's so. Yeah, I don't know. Film Threat's so white. That'll be the next campaign. That'll be the next shirtless video that Theo does that is posted on Instagram and Twitter. If you would like to see Theo Shear shirtless on the internet, that first of all, great. The fact that you did that, like, very brave. It was bold. And it was very funny.
We got to
So
do a
thank you
Film
for that.
Threat show, man.
We should. Yeah, if you're also listening to this, you want to see I Am a Sex Addict, you want to see a Film Threat show on YouTube that I may or may not be a part of. I mean, I probably wouldn't be. Someone should be in it, but not me. But yeah, that's coming at some point. Wait, okay, so I think the last thing is
Let's get out of here.